Audionovelas 2.0, jiji. Hola a todos. Estamos una vez más juntos en una nueva historia, esperamos que sea de su agrado y que la disfruten como nosotros al crearla. Coman saludable, tomen agua diariamente y no se sobreesfuercen, cuídense y bienvenidos a Audionovelas 2.0.
What's happening to me? I feel like my shape is changing. I feel like I'm stiffening up and my vision that was about 360 degrees shortens to about 90 degrees. Before it was more, but it wasn't good, and I had to concentrate on a specific part to see it in detail, and I feel like I'm growing. Keek, wait, keek, woo. I've become the bird, wah ha 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 ha, wah ha 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 ha. I'm the one dress master slime, wah ha 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 ha, wah ha 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 ha. Edge already calm down, cute and sexy slime. First let's try to fly. I start to flutter and strangely I feel comfortable. It's like I was born to fly. Wah Fluss, how fun, wah ha ha ha, keek, ugh that bird. Noise is annoying. Either. I found a small puddle of water, I go towards the puddle and I see my reflection in the water, and as expected I look the same as the hunting bird, except for the part of the eyes, they are bluish in color and my feathers have a orange, and the roots with a slight bluish color, and unlike everything else it is identical to the original. Of course I have to find out the strengths and weaknesses. The shortened vision is one, but the level of detail and distance are significantly improved. It is more an improvement than a disadvantage. I have a question. If the change uses XP, what is experience? I wonder if I go back to my original state, the used experience will be returned to me in its entirety, or I will lose it. I also have to find out when I return to my original state, if I am hurt, the amount of experience will return in its totality, or would it be proportional to the damage they inflict on me before changing into my original form? Well, first I'll drink some water. I don't know if a slime needs food to live or liquids. I drink about 1 liter of water, but I didn't feel that I have filled up or am thirsty. Let's say it's more of a state of good health when you're fine and you don't need to drink at the moment. I'm in that state, but where did the water I drank go? I drink a little more to see if it happens some change. 2 liters, 3 liters, 5 liters. And nothing. In fact, what happened to the bodies that I have digested, and the bathroom? I have no feeling that it tells me that I should expel something. I shake my head away from the reflections and start to fly. When I reach a certain distance, about 15 meters approximately, I see a goblin in the distance. It is sleeping. I make a smile when I see my opportunity to take revenge for the scare of the first goblin. He, now he doesn't look so big, he. I pick up speed and head towards the goblin, with a speed of more than 80 km per hour. In a flash, I opened its throat with one of my sharp claws. The goblin wakes up in pain, covering the area affected by my cut, and when he sees me he turns blue with fear. What the goblin saw was a hunting bird 1 meter high and 20 centimeters wide, and to add even more fear to the goblin, he was staring into his eyes. The terrified goblin comes out running and collapses about 4 meters away as a result of the cut and the loss of blood, not counting the lack of oxygen because he couldn't breathe. I approach the dead goblin, and I think what I should do. After a few seconds of meditating, make a decision. And that is to return to my slime form. I think about my status window and now a slime is shown in the middle. It's me, and the amount of XP available. With the beak of the bird I touch my image in the window and knew I change my mind again, this time without panicking. And luckily the amount of XP is returned in full. I digest the goblin and return to my bird form. I take flight. This time I will go for the part of the largest dungeon. While I fly in I start to think how nice it would be if I could change from bird to goblin, so I don't have to be touching my monitor all the time. And suddenly, I felt like I was falling. Wah I went back to my slime form and wah ha 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 ha. I'm spinning. Everything is spinning. Wah ha 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 ha. I stop by hitting something. Once everything stops spinning I focus my gaze, and what I see is a slime just like me. We stared at each other for a few seconds, and suddenly the slime starts spitting some kind of liquid at me, imagining that it could be acid. Freezes the blood. Although I don't have blood, hee, I dodge the jet of liquid shot from the slime, and as I expected, it was acidic. The slime seemed to be recharging. I screamed inside my soul, "No, I won't leave you." And erara, I start to hit it consecutively with my slime tentacles. The slime, surprised by my action, tries to jump but doesn't make it in time, receiving my multiple limastic blows. He is a word that combines slime with fantastic. Limasticks. The slime, receiving several hits, is pushed back, while he continued giving consecutive blows, until the slime was on the wall. Once on the wall, it began to flatten a bit, leaving a better view of a kind of little ball that seemed to be his heart. I concentrated my erara on his heart, hitting it against the wall, where it begins to generate cracks, little by little until they exceed their limit and break. I wonder what will happen if I absorb another slime. By absorbing it and looking at my skill window, I can see a new protruding root, and in that same root I can see a small slime. I think it's the one I just deleted, but the image is smaller than the others and has no amount of XP. On the other hand, it gave me 20 of XP to use. I keep reflecting that it could be what happened. Maybe that protruding root can be from passive abilities, since the slime that attacked me could be a variant of species. To make sure, I try to shoot acid and splashes, a acid jet, although it is a bit short of distance, approximately between 1 to 2 meters. I try to make a kind of tube with one of my tentacles like a cannon, and boom, the acid came out with more force this time. It reached a distance of 12 meters. I am sure that with practice and time I will be able to increase the distance and power, that's including accuracy. While I was practicing the acid shot, a group of 8 slimes piled up like an ocean wave approached me. It seemed like they were angry. I prepare the hand cannon and boom boom boom, I start shooting acid shots. I manage to shoot down 5 out of the 8 slimes, the others jump straight to hit me. I give small but quick jumps to avoid the slimes, while I hit them with my tentacles to get them away from me and later shoot more acid bullets at them. In the end only their nuclei remained. Intrigued, I tried to absorb them and the result was positive, but unlike before, these did not give me new abilities. Apart from each one gave me 10 XP. It's less than the spitting slime. I think it may be baby slimes. I try not to imagine that I have slaughtered a family of slimes. My little slime heart won't take it. Shaking off negative thoughts, I continue on the path, this time in slime form, to be more careful of future enemies. After 5 minutes, I can see at a distance of about 20 meters, a group of 5 goblins. Apparently they are all common. Either they found a mouse. Wow, that's disgusting. The goblins didn't hesitate and crushed the poor mouse and began to eat it. I pray in my mind for his poor soul, but this is a perfect opportunity. As long as they are distracted eating, they will not notice my arrival. I transform into the house bird, and quickly, while I do not make any noise, with the claws of my legs I pierce 2 goblins, 1 leg per goblin. The others were surprised by the sudden death of their comrades and stare frozen. Quickly I return to my slime form, and start shooting acid bullets. I manage to hit one and it begins to roll on the floor. It's as if it were on fire. After a few seconds it begins to foam at its mouth and faints from the pain. The other 2 were fast enough to dodge my attacks. They quickly grab their sticks and begin to attack me. I dodge the first one by jumping and the second one in the air hits me. The goblins laugh thinking that they hurt me, but their smiles quickly fade when they realize that I was held by their club. Before the goblin can react, I jump on his head and start to suffocate him quickly. The goblin panics, dropping his weapon and waving his arms desperately. The goblin partner also panics, and when trying to save his friend he hits me with his club with all his strength, but this didn't hit me at all, it just deformed me a little, but his partner was knocked out as a result of the blow. Annoyed by the loss of his last companion, the goblin attacked me again to realize that I was no longer in the same place. I quickly slipped between his legs until I got behind the goblin, where I shot him at point-blank range. This would be seen more as you are already dead, Nanny, shiny. The goblin rolled for a few seconds before passing out. After the battle I proceed to absorb all the goblins. Just like the first goblin, they gave me 25 XP each. adding the current total of my available XP is 315 points, continued with my search for a way out. After 10 minutes along the way I managed to find a kind of lizard. It is approximately 2 meters long and 40 centimeters high. It has grey scales and a tongue as if it were some kind of snake. When I was sneaking up on the lizard, it turns its back and begins to fall asleep. Taking that as a signal I jump towards the lizard, but it was a trap. The lizard opens its eyes and quickly turns to my side and it takes a big bite. I can feel its fangs digging into me and it went through me, leaving my mouth closed and me in the same place. Ha 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 ha, what a shame, lucky that I'm a slime, it just went through me. The lizard, surprised that I was a slime, remains confused. Taking advantage of his confusion, I swallow the lizard completely. It panics, shaking with all its might, but unable to escape inside me. I begin to digest it quickly. Anxious to know what ability the lizard could give me, I quickly open my abilities window, and as I expected the lizard was added, but with a difference. The lizard appears in 2 different places. The first one is in the same route where I can transform, and the second one is in the passive ones next to the spitting slime, and it's called Cave Lizard and it costs 40 XP to use and apparently it gave me 45 XP to spend. That's good but weird at the same time. I touch the lizard in the passive parts and nothing. Annoyingly I imprison it continuously about 10 times and it doesn't change anything, so I keep pressing it hard for 2 seconds in a row, and suddenly another window appears, and woohoo, a picture of the lizard is displayed with a description. Says Cave Lizard, skill acquired passive regeneration, allows severed limbs to regenerate passively. Amazed I do the same with the slime. Says, spitting young slime, acquired ability, allows the creation of acidic liquids. Whoa. I jump with excitement for the new data discovered, and I try to generate some acid inside one of my tentacles, and as I expected a small ball of acidic liquid was created. Woohoo ha 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 ha. It's time for experiments ha 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 hey. I look like a mad scientist. Wahaya ha ha hey. Experiment number 1, I stretch one of my tentacles as much as I can, and giving it a whip I cut it off and it falls to the ground. Luckily I didn't feel pain. The sensation I felt is like when one stretches one's bones, that sensation that something separates, but it doesn't, it hurts. My tentacle starts to regenerate slowly. Let's say it would take about 10 seconds to fully regenerate. I try to focus on the damaged part and it starts to speed up and it's over in a second. That was much faster. But when I look at my status window I am surprised to see that my XP points have decreased by 1 point. It seems that concentrating on the skill increases the effectiveness at the cost of available XP points. And the missing point just came back. Whoa, that's great, it's like it's my energy and it regenerates once used. So it's time for experimentation. I become the hunting bird, and I hit the wall hard with my head. The blow gives me pain and some dizziness with a little bit of blood. I say blood, but it's more like if it was water with a slight bluish tint. Then I quickly revert to my slime form. I check my XP, and as expected I lost 5 points. I wait a moment to see if it regenerates. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, nothing. I think that XP regeneration is equal to energy and it regenerates when used in skills. I notice that the bluish liquid is still on top of me. I wonder if that is my blood or part of my body. I absorb it and woohoo, it went up a XP point. Woohoo, I look at the part where I hit my head so I can absorb the missing part, but it's not there. It's clean, the dungeon ate it. With this new information I can deduce that the transformation uses the XP points in a different way. Apparently the skills are like physical exercise, and energy is spent using them, unlike the transformation, which would be like creating more muscle mass using XP, and this same being damaged breaks and cannot be regenerated, because it is disconnected from the body, unless it can find the damaged part and reincorporate it into the missing part. The difference is totally different because if a human loses a finger it won't regenerate, but since I'm a slime my body is configured differently, and as long as I have XP available I can heal myself, creating the damaged part using XP. Honestly, being a slime has many advantages. Experiment number 2. I stretch out one of my tentacles and start to generate a ball of acid at the tip, and it seems that every liter of acid I create consumes 1 XP. Then I try to create an even more powerful substance, apparently it worked, but it consumed me 5 more XP per liter. In the distance I see another lizard. He, I have a great idea. He with an evil smile, like a naughty child making a joke. I create more concentrated acid in the extended tentacle, just like my original size. In total it cost me 50 of XP, about 10 liters. It's a bit heavy, but I can move it normally, so I sneak up on the cave lizard, and it closes its eyes just like the previous one. Apparently it is his way of marrying, giving the false sensation of being defenseless, turning his back on the enemy. The damned, that previous bite scared me to death. Luckily I am a slime. I forcefully push the ball of concentrated acid into the lizard as if it were an attack, and the lizard, like the previous one, turns quickly and bites the bait. At the moment the lizard bit my tentacle it exploded, bathing the lizard in concentrated acid. The lizard writhes in pain, and unlike before the acid is more powerful, and dissolves some of the cave lizard's meat faster. It's disgusting to see. I quickly consume it, well, another 45 more XP for my use. To continue with the adventure, ha. I follow the path, and after about 5 more minutes I arrive at a door. With slight fear I open the door and see a small open field. It is approximately 40 meters long by 40 meters wide, with some lightly lit torches, but on the other side I see another door. I think I'll have to go through if to get to the other side. I fearfully enter inside, and while I observe my surroundings, the door closes quickly with a loud bang that makes me jump in fright. The torches begin to shine more clearly, and a circle with some patterns and letters that I don't understand appears. The circle begins to shine, and a lizard about 3 meters long and 1 meter tall appears. I scream inside me, he is a floor manager. How exciting! The lizard and I stared at each other for a few seconds. The lizard screams and runs quickly towards me. I jump to the side, dodging it and shooting some acid at its back. The lizard, annoyed by my attack, gives a turn around and hit me hard with its tail, sending me flying about 15 meters away. It's quite hard. My normal acid didn't do anything to it. I think it itched, but it didn't hurt. The lizard charges towards my side again. I take a big jump while turning into the hunting bird and start to think of an idea to defeat the cave lizard. The lizard looks visibly annoyed to see me fly, then hits the wall with its body, causing rocks and stone tips to fall from the ceiling. I desperately dodge the rocks, and the lizard yells at me as if it told me, "Coward, come down." At that time, a great idea occurred to me. You wanted me to come down, right? So I swooped down towards the lizard, and it answered by getting up on 2 legs and jumping towards me, opening its mouth. Then bread, the lizard devours me alive. The lizard wags its tail happily as it defeats its enemy. Or so I thought. The lizard quickly began to convulse and writhe in agony. What happened was that, at the moment the lizard devoured me, I returned to my original form, and quickly began to generate all the concentrated acid I could, and expel it outside. It was not pretty for the lizard. In the end I ended up digesting the lizard. The impressive thing is that my body couldn't get bigger enough, so I had to digest it little by little. Imagine a slime and half a lizard in its mouth. Before I finished digesting the lizard, a small chest of the lizard appeared. Wooden treasure, woohoo! Finishing digesting the lizard, I go to the chest with bright eyes, slowly open the chest with great expectation, and a dagger, a small dagger appeared. Apparently the dagger is made of common iron. I grab the dagger and I'm the killer slime, I throw the dagger as if I wanted to prick someone, It's not like it was of any use to me, so I just ate the dagger and nothing happened. I open the skill window to check if I got any skills from the cave lizard, which was bigger than normal. Yet, when I open the skills window I can see that in the part of the cave lizard the young cave lizard appeared right next to it. It costs 140 XP to transform, and it was changed on the passive wall, where the cave lizard was. Now there is the young cave lizard. It also gave me 100 XP to use. Yeah, hi, it's me, the slime master of the clothes. Hey. But currently I have 160 XP out of 501 available. Apparently I spent all my points using the concentrated acid, and it's regenerating at 1 XP per second.